Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my first update for my Panda palette for you. And I know I'm late. I don't like to have to do this as late in the month as I'm doing it now. It's the 14th and I have not filmed my update yet, which will bring the rest out of sync because I've got too much progress this time and I will only have like 2 weeks or so to make progress next time. But it's been a couple of hectic weeks, and when I finally had time to film over the weekend, it's Carnival. I live in the south of the Netherlands. We do Carnival here where people dress up kind of like Halloween style, but not Halloween related, I guess. And I live in the center of my town. This weekend there was a parade going through my street. There is music everywhere. There is a big tent on the town square, which I can pretty much see from here. So it just wasn't gonna happen because there was noise all day long. But Carnival finished up yesterday, so finally I can film without any music or fanfare. Those people that make music and walk at the same time, going through my street or playing at the cafe next to me, because there was this thing where all the different groups went to the different cafes in town and we happen to live next to one. So anyway, Panda palette. I am currently still kind of sort of working on 3 palettes, so we're gonna go all through all 3 of them. One of them is tiny when it comes to the amount of product that is still in there, but I want to keep it in here anyway, just to like nicely finish it off and give it its official ending in this project as well. And that's my Amuse palette. As you guys probably know, on here I was only working on the blush. That's all that I have left in here, and trying to get through that to officially call this palette done. And this is where we are with that right now. So yeah, as you can see, there really isn't that much left anymore. I have a feeling it's going to take me more than just the one update, but I think I should be able to get this done within the next 2 months before the end of the first quarter of the year. And then I can finally call this one done. It's taken me a little over 2 years to get all the way through this, and that blush I've been working on for 2 years, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep working on it. And then we have my Catrice The Seasons Must Have palette. Let's take a quick look at what that one looked like last time. And for that one I was hoping to hit corner pan in the teal shade. That was my main goal, and apart from that just keep making progress on the gray and the eggplant type shade. And as you can see, I did hit corner pan in the teal shade. I think I may have done that just at the start of February, but as you can see, I've been making a good bit of progress outside of that already as well. I have a feeling that that teal shade I might be able to kick out in a couple of months, which would be good because like there's plenty to work on in my official Panda palette from this year as well. The gray shade is moving so slowly. I'm hoping that when I see the pictures I feel like there actually is some progress, but I have a feeling it's going to take me almost a whole year to get through this, and I still want to work on shades in my other palettes that will be used in a similar way, I guess. So I need to figure that out. This guy I have been using a lot as well, and I'm just realizing I forgot to do numbers. Give me 1 second. Okay, so numbers. My blush palette, the blush that's still left in this palette, I have used 25 times over the last month and a half, giving me a total of 407, ridiculous 407 uses. Now for this guy, let me go the way that I always do. I don't know why I'm not able to do that today. I'm not thinking straight. The burgundy shade, eggplant shade, I still don't know what to call it. I have used an additional 24 times since last time, bringing me to a total of 122 uses. Looking at how much progress I've made, that's telling me that it's going to take me most of this year to get through this one as well, but we'll see. These pens are just bigger than I'm used to with like the bigger palettes, because they tend to have smaller pens as opposed to a quad, apparently. That's what I've learned. And then the gray shade I have used an additional 23 times, bringing me to a total of 162. And like I said, looking at how much progress I managed to make of 62 uses, I'm afraid it's going to take me a good little while still to get through all of this. But I'm just going to keep working on it. I use this as my transition shade pretty much every day at the moment, although today I went with something from my other Panda palette because I didn't want to do gray all the time, but I have a feeling if I want to get through that, I'm gonna have to do that a lot over the next year. The champagne shade has been gone for a while, and then the teal shade I used 21 times over the last month, bringing me to a total of 41 uses. And that one seems to be going a fair bit quicker. So 41 uses now. I feel like I've used up at least 1/3 or something of that one. So another 80 uses or so, which I could technically do in like 3 to 4 months. So that would be interesting. At least one shade that I can roll out of here in the first half of the year. But I'm afraid that this is still gonna be there at the end of the year. Or at least I might be able to use it up like just towards the end of the year. But that's that one. And yeah, I have a good bit of focus on this one because I don't want this to be lingering for another 2 years either. But of course I do want to make progress on my official Panda palette for this year, and that is this guy. It's a non-branded palette that I got a good little while ago. Let's not go into details. And let's take a look at what that one looked like last time. And for that one, my main goals were to try and finish up the light pink shade and to like make some progress on the like cooler tones in here. Hopefully hit pan on at least one of them, if I'm correct. Now, this is where we are right now. And there's a lot of shades in here, so it's a bit harder to compare. So let's go through one by one. I'm going to show close-ups of the ones where it makes sense to show you, because if they look the exact same as the previous time, because there's a lot of shades in here. I didn't touch all of them yet. Yeah, that. So the first shade was that pink shade that I was trying to finish off. And I'm saying was because it's gone. I managed to finish that off pretty much at the end of January, so I haven't really touched that for 2 weeks now ish. I used that 24 times for me to be able to finish it off. There wasn't too much in there, but for most of it I've been using it in my inner corner, and then towards the end I used it on my brow bone a few times as well. It was light enough for me to do that, close enough to my skin tone, just to be able to get it out. So 24 uses, and that one was gone. Then we have this like pinkish purple right here. I did not use that, so no need to show you a close-up because nothing changed. The brown shade, I did bring this palette as like my main palette with me when I went to Orlando for work. So this is a palette that I have been playing with then, and because I felt like some warmer looks at that time as well, especially with the warmer weather that we had there, which was really nice. I used this brown shade 4 times, which is not a lot, but I did definitely see some movement. I hope you guys can see that in the picture as well. So that shows me that this one shouldn't be too hard to finish off once I start focusing on it as well. The purple shade I've used once, not a lot, but of course it is fairly similar to what I have in here. It's a bit more of a blackish purple as opposed to like a reddish purple, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I've tried to use it once. Then the like lighter purple shade here I have not used. This shade is one that I definitely gravitate towards a little bit, so even though I haven't been trying to focus on it by any means, I've used it 6 times. I'm using it in my crease today as well because I just wanted something slightly warmer. It's not overly pigmented, so it works great as a transition shade, and when I really pack it on, it might work as well on my lid. But mainly transition shade material from what I've seen so far. And the 6 uses, it has a little bit of a dip. It had a little bit of a dip in it already before, so no major changes. I've got my numbers lying right next to me here, which is why I'm looking in this direction. Then we have this taupey shade right here, which I have used not at all either. This shade is one that I've been really focusing on. I've been using that on my lid a whole lot because it is a really nice light shade, so it works out. It's interesting because these, like, some of them have a tiny like shimmer in them, or like pieces of shimmer more so. So a lot of these show up matte, and I've been so used to doing shades that were mostly glitter that it's actually kind of nice that I have like matte shades to work with, and I can make all matte looks if I would want to. So yeah, this one I've been mainly focusing on. I used this one 16 times, so that was kind of the one that I used a lot in combination with that pink. Those were my two focus shades for this month. And on usage number 16, I managed to hit pan. It's only a tiny bit of pan, so hopefully you can see that in the close-up, but we have pan in an additional shade. So one finished, one new pan. That is pretty exciting. I hope we can keep that going, although I don't feel like I'm gonna finish anything off by next update. Then we have another purple shade right here. This one I have used one time, so no love change either. This brown I did not touch because like they're similar enough, these two, so I'm just going to focus on this one first and then move to that one once I guess I finish that one. This one was already empty before. Same goes for this guy, but I'm assuming that was clear. Then the blues. I've got the two blues here, and I've been like, my goal I guess was to try and focus on them a little bit more, but I've used this one twice and I did not use this one at all. I just tend to gravitate away from the blues a little bit. Yeah, there was a blue in my pen palette last year that I focused a fair bit on, so maybe that's also why I just don't feel like doing it. But at the same time, we're in winter now, so I'm gonna have to try and make some progress on these because I'm even less likely to want to use them come summertime. Maybe I can still kind of put them in there in springtime because they're like lighter shades, so it might work for like the pastel-y vibes, but we'll see. So 2 uses for this one, no uses for this one. Then we've got the darker green. I've used that one twice. It's kind of like a muddy shade, as in like the darkness of the green comes out, but the greenness of the green doesn't come through too clearly. Probably because it is an older palette as well, but yeah, like I tried to do something with these two at the same time at a certain point, and it didn't really feel like it said green when I especially put this in the crease, so I need to kind of keep that in mind when I'm using it if I want to go for something like that actually says green. I shouldn't go for this one, but it still works well as kind of a outer V darkening up shade anyway. And then this one is one that I've gravitated towards a little bit more as well because I just like greens, and I've used that one 5 times now. There definitely is good potential for that one to have pan fairly soon, so I might try and focus on this a little bit, but I think I should definitely try to focus on these two a little bit more because that green is going to be easy enough for me to use. So even though that has the most like potential for new pen probably out of all the shades in here, I think I'm gonna get to finishing that one like easily enough anyway. So maybe I should try and focus on the things that I otherwise will ignore. Yeah, that was it for this palette. Now let's talk goals straight away because oh no, we've got blushes still as well. Let's talk about the blushes first. So as I said, I brought this with me when I was in Orlando as kind of my main focus. So during that week, I also focused on using these blushes. I know I said that there was a little bit of hope for me to finish this guy off already, but this has my priority. So this is going to go first, and then I'm going to be able to make some more progress on what's in here. So usage wise, I have used this shade twice, and I've kind of been mixing it in with some other things as well. They are a bit more darker toned, but that works. I did not touch this guy. This one I have used 6 times, and I've kind of been going into the both of these together because it's a bit harder for me to pick up this anyway, and it's not really a color that shows up on my cheeks very much, so I just did a combination of those two. So I have a similar amount of uses on this guy. There's only one time that I used this on its own. So 6 uses for this one, 7 uses for this one, and most of them were basically swirling through the two pans together. Also, my brushes just don't fit very well, so I tend to be picking up a little bit of like these colors sometimes as well when I'm trying to use that. Yeah, it happens. Then this guy I did not really touch yet. I just want to get through this one first, and then I'm going to focus on this one because they're similar enough, so it's okay. And then we've got this one that I'm using as a bronzer, and I was still working on a bronzer in another project, which I hit my goal on. Slight spoiler if you know maybe what I'm talking about. So now I'm trying to go for this one because yes, I've got my Maybelline trio thing that I'm working on as well, but I want this palette gone as a whole, so this is focus number 1. I have used this one 3 times since, and I'm going to be focusing on this one more over the next update. So that is that. Now, goals for next time, as I already made kind of clear, I want to really try and use these 2 blue shades a good bit more. It's only 2 weeks really until my official next update. I'm thinking I might do like 3-ish weeks this time and then kind of go back to a normal schedule, because I feel like in 2 weeks time I'm not going to be able to do much. Plus I'm going on a skiing trip as well, so there's a little bit too much, not too much, there's never too much travel, but a lot of travel is centered around this part of the year for some reason. But focusing on these 2 blues, I would love to be able to hit pan on something else, but I think I just need to go and try and do that with one of these 2. So this has the most of a dip already, I think. Maybe I can hit pan on that one. And for the blushes, like I said, I'm gonna keep focusing on this guy first. I want this out, and then we'll take a look at the rest. I guess my skiing trip probably won't mean wearing a lot of makeup either, because no point in putting on a lot of makeup when you're skiing. And then for this one, I think there is potential for me to hit corner pan in the eggplant shade. So that, I think, is going to be my main goal for this palette. And then the other 2 I'm just going to keep on using. I'm not expecting specific like corner pan, but I think I will be setting myself up for corner pan in the teal shade by next update, hopefully. Another corner. And that is it, I believe. I feel like I haven't done like a proper update in so long that I've forgotten how to do them properly. I don't know, but yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully a more coherent version of this next time. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye!